Hey tubers, mail day. Got some things stacked up for the last week or so, whenever that last video was. I got some random things for the collection that aren't necessarily cards too. But I think all except one thing is Niners. I'll tell you where my head space is on that. Obviously, I've been talking about it for a while, but I'm trying to get a sub out. It is just, in the hustle and bustle of life, sitting down to do the administration of a collection and, making the submission and packaging it up properly and all that. You guys know, it's a lot, so it takes me a while to get around to it. Also got to send a consignment off. Did most of the admin for that. Just got to package it up and print some stuff out. But all Niners here because I made a relatively large decision lately. I knew I was getting close, but I have begun the process of breaking up some of my a piece of my collection, I suppose. I have the entire 49ers base run, high-ish or high grade since the beginning. The 48 Leo Nomalini is the first card that's a Niner, and then it goes from 50 Bowman all the way up, and I got them all, and I got them all graded. I'll say that with an asterisk, but yes, complete sets of the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, minus a couple for the 90s, and that's part of the straw that broke the camel's back. And so it's just kind of weird what could change the direction. It does take a while to take hold, but a big registry person, right? Built the vast majority of all the 49ers sets that are in existence on the PSA registry. There were a few already there. But then I made the collective, or if there was a year, like if 55 was already a set or something, which it wasn't. But then I built the 50s decade set as well. And I also built the 48 to present run, yada, yada. Well, somebody along the way, I think I know who it is. He might be watching this video. No hate towards you, but it affected me. 1990 Topps kind of unraveled it for me. I tried to patch it up and be like, all right, I'll ignore 1990 Topps for a while, but in the registry they allow a little sketchy with some of their little nuanced rules, but there's disclaimer backs, and they didn't categorize disclaimer backs as a variation. They categorized it as a base set. If you understand 90s Topps football, they got a regular card, and then they got a card just below the statistics on the back, and it says, I can't even remember now, but something to the effect of, Topps, yada, yada, 3 lines. I can't remember the phrase, but it doesn't matter. And then they turned that into the disclaimer back, and it was like a relatively late discovery as far as recognition and as far as PSA putting a label. So if you've got a old PSA labeled 1990 Topps football, flip it over, and if you see three small lines claiming something, giving a disclaimer from Topps, then it probably is mislabeled because a lot of them didn't go that way. But somebody started adding those, and basically, and it's competition, and that person did it for the competition, and he can. That's one way that they could pass me by in the 1990s set, is if they graded those things faster than me and had low pop 1, 10, pop 110 or something like that, a pop 9, because nobody else was grading these things. And so that was that person. And I bit the bullet on that for 1990 Topps, but then that person started adding them to the decade set, and I just did not feel like that was in the spirit and intent of why I built the set, but just decade sets and year sets that PSA had, and then it started affecting that 1948 to present run. So I really started to question, I'm not doing it. I just can't, some dude, well, there's that's 1990 Topps is 25 card deep, at least. It might be 27 or something like that, team set. when you count them all together. So to have 2 of each of those, and some of those aren't necessarily too worthy of owning the regular base, that was a tough pill to swallow, because the value proposition was absolute zero, and then it was solely collecting for the registry. And I struggled with that for a long time. And then I also struggled with the collection getting much, much larger. I was well over 5,000 slabs at a time. I have dwindled down. I just, with this, well, as soon as I mail this consignment out, I go below the 4,000 threshold, which I'm pretty proud of. But that 48 to present collection is just under 1,200 cards. And you add that to almost 1,500 GRE Rice slabs, so on and so forth. That's a lot of boxes of a lot of cards, and I move every 2 years, and it's been a lot. And so I knew it was come time. So anyway, interesting how your hobby changes over that, and it could be something as small as a damn disclaimer on the back of a 1990 Topps football card. But my previous consignment, I did start the process of breaking up my big 49ers holistic collection. I'm keeping the Hall of Famers, I'm keeping the key rookies, but that means I keep 40%. Most of the value's in that, obviously, but there's still some really good cards along the way. So that was a big step for me. Did that. I just did it with 50 Bowman. I think I'm kind of doing it with 51 Bowman and 52 Smalls in this next one, and then we'll chip away. Can't flood the market. I started doing the same thing with Rice's, but probably about a year ago. That's only maybe 25 cards at a time, because at 1,400 to 1,500 total cards, I'm not selling them all. I'll probably still end up with 300-400 of them, just because I'm such a big fan of them. But that's where the prices was. So there's some collector's guilt that goes along with that for so many years of collecting, which has led me to this last mail day basically have a 49ers mindset, and therefore a lot more 49ers cards. With that, I'll show the first card. It's 7 minutes plus here, but got a Bowman's Best 97 Steve Young PSA 9. I always brain fart on the pops as soon as I'm on video here, but it's like a pop 5 higher in that realm. I look at so many population reports, it gets a little tough, so I don't want to speak in absolute, but that's in that realm. I also got I'm not looking specifically for Steve Young's, but keep finding the good deals on these, so I'm not going to shy away from them. I do need to sell off a good number of Steve Young base 10s, I think, and then just pick up this key ones, and so that's kind of what I'm doing. This is the booster from 95 Finest, and I believe his booster, the Rice booster for sure, which is up on the wall in the corner over there. The booster ones just have much better poses. Other than that, I'm indifferent to them. It's just kind of a pose thing. And so that one's PSA 9. I want to say, I think that's double-digit pop, low double-digit pop for 9s, but, maybe pop 10, 12. But the pop in 10, I think, is only like a 1 or 2 or something. So 9 is what you get. This is kind of a big one. Did I show this off already? I think I did, but oh well. It's still sitting on my desktop. So 52 Tittle upgrade in the Bowman Small. Got an 8. Upgraded to 6. There was a 54 PSA 9, which is the lone card I need to upgrade for Tittle. Ugly slab, not a great looking card in a 9, that specific one I'm saying, and it still went for 1,900. Don't think I'm going after that one, although I've paid some big money for some Tittles. But Prestige is out. I'm a big fan of their Heroes cards. I like the base, but the value proposition in creating the base isn't too high, because they do have a good number of color variants with that. But it's a brand new product, and somebody listed this one for a decent price, because normally they gouge the crap out of you when it's brand new. So I figured I'd pick up the Purdy. Got this for a low initial starting auction price, and nobody bid against me. Let's see if I can kind of get, there's an etching there. Yeah, there it goes. Pretty cool. From 94 Action Pack. Metal etched stat leaders. That's pop 1, none higher. Here's a cool Purdy. See if I can get the light is not bouncing on that very well. That's terrible. There are fireworks in the background there. There we go. I have Ken Norton longevity out of 50. Got a Steve Young 98 score artist proof. And then I think that's it for the cards because I want a ton of cards. I got some on the way. I picked up, I'm gonna crack this open because I'm gonna put it on display here. I like bobbleheads. I mentioned moving every 2 years, so I try not to get too many of these big items just because they're a pain to move and such. But I do like the bobbleheads that are holding the awards and stuff, because then they're more all-encompassing to the time period as opposed to very specified. It's the, the 2017 All-Star game or something like that. Well, I'm not gonna get 10 All-Star ones of a guy or something like that, so I like to have probably just one of the big guy. And so there's 2 Cy Youngs that Scherzer won for us. Pretty cool there. And then McFarland's are back out, and I'll probably crack it open, but they display a little nicer than I thought they used to. There's the Bosa. I gotta get the Kittle. The Purdy is in a real nice little case right here. So I picked that up as well. That's what I got for you. But again, consignment coming. That funds all the great new purchases that we love to see. And then I've got lots of slab candidates gonna get ready to send off. So thanks for listening to me babble for a while. I'd be interested in anybody that had something similar that kind of, led to future change like that. Because it's very nuanced and specific to me, but had major impact. Still salty about those disclaimers. I kind of look upon them with a little bit of disdain now that I see them. When they were initially, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, because I'd had them for Montana Topps Master Set. So I was like, all right, that's 3-4 cards. Cool, I can do that. And it's Montana. There's at least, not a complete throwing away of the money as I send those off to get slapped. And I was building these sets when they were $625, $650 a grade, right? Now $18-19 at bulk is oof, but exciting times. First world problems, because I'm still collecting and I still love it and I'm still having a ball. But until next time, later.